More than 24 sacred objects have been returned to Indigenous people in Alice Springs. As Stephen Schubert reports, it's taken more than 100 years for the objects to make it back to Central Australia from southern museums.
In these crates are 26 cultural items sacred to these Aranda men.
It's very, very important, important for our land, important for our people to know that they have come back.
These objects ended up in a museum in Victoria. The process of getting them back took 5 years, and Aranda elders had to fly to Melbourne to make their case.
They sorted these objects and gave Museum Victoria instructions to send these ones back home so that we can start consulting all the old people around here about these objects.
Now back where they came from, the items are being cleansed by smoke. Each object has a different story about how it ended up down south.
Only a very small number are actually stolen, but in most cases they're exchanged by Aboriginal people.
The sacred objects can't be shown to anyone but Aranda men, a traditional law that wasn't always respected.
The museum for a long time actually had the secret sacred objects on display. Up until the late 60s they were open to the public.
And now we want to work with all these men and other senior men around in the community to strengthen Aranda men, to give us our responsibility and traditional roles back again.
After 100 years, it's still going to be a few days until these crates can be opened. The museum now has to work out which men are culturally responsible for each item.
Everything that's been taken away, they get welcomed back home to where they belong.
A homecoming a century in the making. Stephen Schubert, ABC News, Alice Springs.